Hey guys, we are live. Wonder if you can hear me. So we are live 30 minutes early. So I want to know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. If we could, yeah, basically I'm just trying to check my tech right now. If everything's all right. But if you aren't logged in yet to the Discord server, you have to be logged in there to ask your questions. So I have a couple of people already in the Discord server. And hold on. Yep. All right. And if you aren't logged in yet, but you signed up and you're in the Discord server, now is the time to log in. Hello to Art30 from YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, we have ang walang kamatayang Mr. Patrick. Thank you for being in the Discord server. Mel Micah from Campus Crusade. Thank you for being here tonight. We are going to basically start early, just so we have some wiggle room for the people who are going to be tuned in around 8 p.m. Also, for those of you who are watching from YouTube and or Facebook or Periscope or Twitch, you can send your questions through Discord. Just follow the link from .sean.c/discord. You can log in there. The server is completely free and you can just pop in and ask me anything. So we have a couple of questions already, actually, a lot of questions from Patrick and a couple of questions from Melade, Melad, Sarah, and Bigo. But I won't get to answering them first. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for people to be able to get in. Oh, and if you have friends and family who during this time may be finding it a little bit difficult in terms of work, in terms of making money, in terms of sales or business, feel free to please share this link with them, share this live stream with them, or the Discord link so that they can also chime in, learn, ask questions. Again, this is completely free. Doing this because I want to help you out, add value to you, to your day. It's just gonna be 1 hour, 8 to 9 p.m. But we can't. We're just opening this early so that more people can join in. Ganda ng aquarium. Yes. If you're wondering, that's my new hobby, aquascaping. It's more for the aquatic plants than the livestock, livestock meaning fish. So I'm not really into the fish, more of into the aquatic plants and how it looks. So that one right there is a scape that me and my wife did. We're gonna have the video on YouTube. Low budget lang yung production though. Di pa 4K yung video. Kaya medyo malabo minsan. But you'll see how we made that entire scape from scratch. Yeah, with nothing. Basically, the tank was empty. This is an acrylic tank. The filter is behind the tank as well as the lights. And yeah, basically we put in the soil, the aqua soil, the Amazonia soil, the sand, and the plants and the hardscape. Hardscape meaning the rocks. There's no wood inside, so the only hardscape would be the rocks. All right, we have Jerome who entered the Discord channel. Thank you, Jerome. You can proceed to the Ask Anything questions channel and leave your question there. And we have Dennis. Musta? Long time. Wow. Dennis, you can join the Discord channel if you want to leave questions. You can just sign up. The link is on the video. Go to from.sean.c/discord. Sign up there. You can leave your questions there. I'll be picking the best ones and I'll be addressing them tonight. This entire show is going to be recorded. The audio is going to be recorded. Unfortunately, I can't record the video, so it's just the audio that's going to be recorded. And it's going to be turned into a podcast episode. It's the first time I'm doing this, so please be forgiving whenever I have, whenever I make mistakes or say something wrong. It's the first time I'm doing this, guys. Jerome, thank you for being here. Please join us. Oh, you're already in Discord, right? You just got in. So thanks for signing up. I haven't seen your question though. Go to the Ask Anything Questions channel, leave your question there, and I'll get to it. The toys, yes, a lot of people comment about the toys. I just wanted to have something there, to be honest. And it's not doing anything in the office anyway, so I took it home and put it there. Yeah, most of it Marvel, and you can see One Piece. That's it. It's just Marvel and One Piece. Two things that I'm I'm um, I'm following. I haven't finished One Piece though. I think it's not yet done. Maybe it's gonna be done when I'm 50. Hopefully, hopefully not. Hopefully earlier. But that's definitely an anime that I might let my kids watch because it has a lot to do with loyalty. Isaac, you're online. Saan ka? Nasa Discord ka na. Mark Davis, thank you for joining the Discord channel. Please proceed to Ask Anything Questions channel. Leave your questions there so that I'll be able to answer it. Sabi ni Isaac, around 8:30 pa siya makaka-ask ng questions. Daddy duties. No problem, Isaac. Bro, I understand. Kung kaya kitang tulungan, tutulungan kita. All right. More questions coming in. Jel, thank you for this question. It's weird though, because I don't see you online, but you were able to post a question in Discord. Sarah, you are on Facebook. You could ask the question if you want on Discord so that I can answer it live. No worries. I think it's a good question. Hmm. Two monitors. Maybe I could share there. All right. So you guys could see the Discord server. At least you guys could see the questions being asked here. Siguro next time pag ganito, maybe I'll stream a game first. What do you guys think? No, probably not, no. As you guys know, I play computer games. Still do. And by the way, we have a special guest tomorrow. I already booked him. He plays StarCraft. So he's gonna be in the show 8 p.m. tomorrow. He's gonna be on Discord as a special guest. Yes, Mr. Marvin G, ang pinakamayaman na stock trader sa buong Pilipinas. All right. Again, for those who are watching, we have a couple of minutes more. We're going to start 8 p.m. We're just waiting for more questions to be asked in this Discord server. The channel is Ask Anything Questions. This is where you post your questions, and I'll be getting to answering them in a short while. We start at 8 p.m. Jenny Jad, hop into the server. Welcome to the server. Can I call you Jenny? Yeah, that's what I'll call you. Jenny, if you have questions, just post them already in the Ask Anything question section so we can address them later. Doon sa mga nanonood dyan, magparamdaman naman kayo. Magparamdam kayo. Just chat, leave a comment section, no problem. Maybe in the stream, just leave a comment. I'll be able to see that. No worries. Yes, VLL and MB trade. I remember VLL, MB not sure. Is that Metrobank? But VLL, yeah, that was a good trade for me. But iba pa rin yung easy call trade ni Marvin. Iba pa rin yun. Master Mick, thanks for being here on the server. Musta ka na? Miss na kita. If you have questions, just leave it in the Ask Anything question section. 14 minutes to go before I start addressing the questions here. So if you're in the server listening, you have to mute the Facebook Live if you're also listening to the Facebook Live. Otherwise, it's going to be doubled. First time ni Isaac mag-Discord. No problem, bro. I also had a learning curve. And it was also difficult for me, but my siblings taught me how. It's really good. It's really worth using. Well, because I want to do this. It's actually perfect for this. For doing an AMA that's streamed. So I could see a couple of people here, but yeah, post your questions. Or if you're here to listen, okay lang. Sige, no problem naman yun. But if you have questions, might as well ask them. Could be anything. It could be not just about business or leadership or entrepreneurship. It's really up to you. You want to ask me where I get my toys? No problem. Hey Mick, okay naman. Yes, by God's grace, we are alive and well. And hope you're doing well as well. No, kayo ni Dar. Hmm. If you guys could hear loud typing sounds, that's my wife still working. Quarter life crisis. Interesting question. Guys, by the way, if you haven't yet, please help us out by following the podcast. This entire episode would be a podcast as well. We're gonna be recording it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to record the video because the app I'm using doesn't allow me to record the video, so that's a bit sad. But it's definitely gonna be an audio, which is good because I'll be giving you shout. Yep, there we go. Nag-off ang aking headset mic, kaya no sound. All right. 3 minutes before we start answering questions. So, again, kung may pahabol kayo, go to from.sean.c/discord. Post your questions there. I'll get to answering them from there. Of course, I get the right to choose the questions that I want to answer. And we have 1 hour for it. Next time, magsi-stream ako dito, Mick. Ano? Ano nga ba yung card game ng ng LOL? Forgot the name. Legends of Frontera. Habang naghihintay. Yeah, to fill the time. Definitely. So again, if you guys are watching from Facebook or YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. I will be able to read it. And if you want to shout out, just let me know. Otherwise, if you have questions for me, please go to the link in the broadcast show notes. That's from.sean.c/discord. And you can leave your questions there, and I'll be getting to them. Also, if you want to listen to this entire broadcast through Discord, you may do that as well. I'm using my better mic, but there's no video there. So, but feel free to use Discord to tune in if you want. So, for those who haven't followed yet, please help us out by following the podcast on Spotify. Just type Leadership Stack. You'll be able to find it. This episode will become a podcast as well. So, you kind of know how we do our podcasts. We've done a lot of guesting as well. We have a lot of guests from all over the world, and I learn from them and I ask them questions so that you can also learn from them. So I hope you enjoy some of the episodes that we have there. It is a work of love, and the production team worked really hard to make that happen. All right, we have questions from Mark Davis. Jenny also contributed another one. Miko, Master Mick, thank you for your contribution. Gel, again, another question. All right, medyo mahirap yung mga tanong ah. Again, this is the first time I'm doing this, so please be forgiving when I make a mistake. When I say something that is not in place, um, please be forgiving na lang. Fall Guys, yes. Oo nga no, pwede yun. Hi Jikai, thank you for tuning in. If you have questions for me, join the Discord channel. Otherwise, please help us by getting the word out or following the podcast. Dapat mag-guest ka na rin pala, no? All right. It's 8 o'clock. We are going to start. So, these are the questions. Siyempre, unahin ko na yung nauna. Very early bird. 12 o'clock pa lang. Lunchtime. Nagtanong na. Patrick Miguel. What is the most important skill or trait a starting entrepreneur should have? Well, The word entrepreneur comes from the French word entreprendre, which means risk taker. So it doesn't have to be that you're courageous heading into the void. It just means that you have the confidence because you know what you're doing. There's an educated guess at the back of your head. So you're willing to risk some stuff. Because whether you have the capital or not, sabihin mong may capital naman siya, hindi na risky sa kanya. Well, he's risking his capital pa rin. Right? So being an entrepreneur, you risk. That is that has to be a part of you. You're optimistic as well. Because if you're not optimistic, you can't be an entrepreneur. There's no way you're going to take that risk. Now, so that's a trait, skill. What kind of skill? I would say you have to have really good skill with communication and dealing with people. So those two go hand in hand because if you can't communicate well, how do you deal with people well? You can't because they're gonna misunderstand you and you're gonna have problems. Especially today in our era of hair trigger balances where a false or misunderstood word can create as much disaster as anything, then you have to be able to communicate well. So communication and being able to deal with people well. Treat them well, be encouraging to them. That's something that I'm also learning myself. That's a blind spot that I have, a weakness. So I'm still learning it as I go as an entrepreneur. Actually, I look forward to the day and time that yun na lang yung gagawin ko. Taga-encourage na lang ako ng mga tao ko. Taga-approve na lang. Taga-upload na lang. This I don't need to do the work because they're doing it so well and I just really have to encourage them. That is something that I look forward to. So I think that is one of the most important skills that you should have or traits. No? How do you keep a good working relationship with challenging or demanding clients? Still from Patrick. Well, there are challenging and demanding clients. I can assure you that. There are clients that I would say they're a pain in the ass because they talk to you disrespectfully, they talk down on you, or they stress you out, or they don't pay on time. Madame, you name it. There are so many, so many problems with clients, um, and the list goes on. How do you deal with them? Honestly, how do you keep having a good working relationship with them? Honestly, the secret to that is remembering God made them and God made you too. God made me as well. So we're human beings, we're people. They have flaws, they have blind spots. You have to work with that. And they're still your client, they're still the one paying. You could talk with them nicely about, hey, can you improve on this or that? Because if you have a good relationship with them naman, na umabot na kayo sa level na pwede mo na siyang pagsabihan sa mga weaknesses din niya. I think that's something that you could do. Assuming that the client is happy with you, 'di ba? Happy with your work, ikaw wala kang shortcoming sa kanya. So I think, that's something that you could do and maybe you should do it talaga kasi it's hard to keep a good working relationship with a client you don't like. It's hard. I would rather fire the client to be honest. And we have fired clients. You might want to check that out. That's an episode I had with Mr. Harry Uy. We have fired clients. It's in the podcast. So I'm going to keep Patrick's other questions as baon kasi give chance to others tayo. So we have a question from Melad and the question is, what is the most effective way to seal a deal in any form of sales marketing? Well, I have a treat for you because the latest episodes that we have been publishing on YouTube is with Mr. Carlos Castaño, one of the best salespeople in the advertising industry here in our country. And you know what his secret is? No joke. This was his answer when I asked him, what is your best tactic? Right? Tactic, not strategy. Tactic, meaning you're in the meeting and you need to pull off something great so that you can seal the deal. You know his answer? So sorry spoil ko na sa inyo, no? But if you want to know more, just listen to the podcast episode on YouTube. Sabi niya, seriously, I smile. I give them an authentic smile, and that does the job. Because when clients see that you're authentic in what you're selling, in what you're trying to give them, that it's really valuable to them, that it's really something that will help them grow their business, then they will trust you more. And sales and marketing kasi, in my opinion, is all about trust. Eh. If people don't trust you, they're not gonna buy from you. After trust, trust is the foundation. The next thing is likability. If people don't like you, even if you have a great product or service, they're not gonna buy from you because they don't like you. They would rather buy your product or your service from someone else or someplace else. That's the honest truth. Now, after building that trust and building that likability, sealing the deal, you have to ask the client for that. Sometimes there are salespeople or marketing people na they just keep on giving value. Bigay ka lang ng bigay. You never ask. You never go for the question. So, when do you want to do this? So, when do you want to start? So, when do you want to sign the contract? Natapos na yung 3-hour meeting mo, nag-inuman na kayo't lahat, and you didn't ask. Of course, you can't seal the deal that way. You have to make the ask. But to get there, you have to build it up from trust and likability. From Miss Sarah. Thank you for the question, Sarah. And thanks for joining us on Discord. When do you turn away from the opportunity in front of you? When there's a bigger opportunity. So, I was listening to a podcast by John Maxwell, also in Spotify, yesterday. And he reminded me of the phrase, you can't catch two rabbits. Because if you try to catch two rabbits at the same time, they'll both be ending up in their rabbit hole and you can't get to them anymore. And the speaker said, pick a rabbit. Just pick one. Pick one rabbit. That way, when you focus on one rabbit, you get a much better chance of catching that rabbit, catching that opportunity, and making the most out of it. So I think if there is an opportunity in front of me, but there's a bigger one, a better one, I would pick that one and then I would turn the lesser one down. That's the only time I'm going to turn away that opportunity. Other people will say that they turn down opportunities if it's not aligned to their goals or their vision for themselves. That's also a pretty good answer. So if your vision, if your goal, for me, it's to retire, semi retire someday, then I shouldn't keep on doing a lot more jobs or businesses, right? So, which I am. But yeah, so um, that's why you have to step back and reflect, what am I doing? How am I still working towards my goal? Am I getting too many stuff on my plate? Am I chasing too many rabbits and ending up with none? Next question is from Bigo. He says, hi Sean, any tips for growth hacking your business? Consulting na tayo. Right now, medyo na-stuck po ako. I wrote an ebook last month, which will serve as my first digital product. Next in line would be offering workshop or courses in the future. Anywho, any growth hack tips for a starter like me thinking of doing FB ads to boost traffic to my lead magnet? Kaya lang natatakot ako na baka di ko mabawi. Nangyari na kasi before. All right. Well, Bigo, you're actually risking a little bit now because you're thinking of running FB ads, hindi mo nabawi last time. Advertising naman ganun eh. You're not sure kung mababawi mo eh. You always run ads for two things. Number one is for awareness, brand awareness, reach. Di mo talaga mababawi yun. But at least people get to know your brand more. They can consider you when the need arises. Second is you run ads for ROI. Thank God for real-time analytics now using Facebook, Instagram, or Google that you can actually track ROI. So now you can actually advertise for ROI. No, but before you can't do that because you just don't know how many people will buy from your billboard ad or TV ad. Growth hacking is all about exponentially growing your business. It doesn't mean sales or revenue. It could mean your hiring process. It could mean different things. So I'm assuming that what you mean here is your revenue. Okay, that's I'm just gonna assume that because it's not specifically stated here. So if you're gonna hack the growth of your business, meaning you're gonna grow your revenue, what you need right now, you have a digital product, you're going to start your workshop or courses. You notice all of the people doing that. One thing that's common with all of them, they have a platform, they have their community, they have people who believe in them, people who promote them, people who just chime in whenever they have, like for example what I'm doing now is an AMA, and there are people who chime in almost all the time. Patrick has chimed in for like all the time. No, Master Miko Peña is mostly there, and these are people who support your community. They're part of your community, they're part of your tribe. If you want to growth hack your digital product, your online workshops and courses, you're going to need the help of a community, a tribe. And there's no really easy way to do it but to give a lot of value. So what I'm doing now, answering your question, I'm getting nothing in return for it except maybe you like my answers, you subscribe to my newsletter, or you come back next time. There's no monetary payment that I'm going to get out of this. I am not going to be able to multiply my revenue from this. So it is a work of passion and a work of love, but it allows me to build my community, which is an important thing if you want to growth hack your digital products, your digital workshops, and courses. So if you're going to run ads, I suggest don't start with an immediate sale. Wag ROI kaagad yung isipin natin. Kasi kung nakafocus ka doon, eh, matatakot ka talaga lagi, baka hindi mo mabawi. You know, maybe I'm not going to be able to do my ROI, I'm just going to lose money. Yeah. If you keep thinking about making direct sales using your Facebook ads, you will probably lose money. 95% of the time, you'll probably lose money. But if you're running ads, and I have run ads for free tests or assessments that people can take. For example, I ran one for remote work, and people can just take that test and see how well they work remotely. So a lot of people took the test. I got their email addresses. They got plugged into my CRM and email marketing platform. They got to know me better. Some of them are here tonight in Discord and they've asked questions. So that is a community. And that has helped me to propel my own brand and sell more digital products as well. There really is no shortcut to it. Building a community and a platform really takes time, and you have to give so much value. A team helps definitely. I have a production team that helps me with leadership stack, both the audio version of the podcast, the written version, which is transcription, and the video on YouTube. So if you have never been to the YouTube channel, it is worth checking out kasi ang galing nung editing, ang galing nung thumbnails. The team behind it is wow. I mean, all I can really do is speak. That's it. From Gel, the question is, what do you put into your mind first thing in the morning, and how do you stay being motivated? Well, to be honest, first thing I do in the morning, I wake up, I kiss my wife, I tell her I love you. My wife's here, right here, guys, and she's listening to this. So, yeah, forgive me. You have to be more forgiving. It's the first time I'm doing this. Sabi ko nga. Um, but yeah, I pray. That's the first thing that I think of. I thank God for the day. And I do this every day. I pray first before I open my phone. Okay, so my phone is a meter away from me, from my bed, but I pray first. I thank God for the day. I thank God that I'm awake, that I didn't die in my sleep. I thank God for everything that He has blessed me with. So that's pretty much the first thing I do in the morning. What I put in my mind. Well, I do read the Bible every day. I do read the Bible every day, and I spend maybe 10, 15 minutes reading it and praying. Other things that I put into my mind would be the books that I'm reading right now. I'm reading Principles by Ray Dalio. Really good book. I've just finished Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I'm rereading The Ultimate Sales Letter for some reason. I'm just led to reread that. So I'm reading it again. And I'm also reading Narnia for the first time because I want to be able to read it to my kids as a bedtime story. But they always ask me to read their Bible, so of course I'm gonna read their Bible, no problem. How do you stay being motivated? It's tough. It's very tough to lead people. People in general doesn't have to. I lead around 50 people in SEO Hacker. All of them are younger than me. I'm 32 years old. It's tough. There are a lot of tough days. Work does not get done, or sloppy work is produced, or people are absent or late. And it's hard to see sometimes the great things happening because of all the bad stuff happening. So being motivated, staying motivated is more of an attitude of gratitude. If you have an attitude of gratitude, being thankful for what you have, being thankful for your team, no matter how imperfect they are, being thankful that you still have work, that you still have people who help you out, being thankful that I have my family, being thankful that I have a home where I live, I have food, I have water. These things help motivate me because I am so thankful, and I really am genuinely thankful that I have these things. I am more enticed, I am more motivated to do things like this, right? Again, I'm not getting anything from it, but I still do it because it's a work of love. And I always say, you can't give what you don't have. So there must be something that I have. I must be motivated today because I'm doing this for you. From Jenny, question is, any advice for those people who are experiencing quarter life crisis? Hmm. Personally, I haven't experienced it, so I might not be the best person to answer this from experience, but I'll try to answer it from an advisor standpoint. When you have a crisis, it stems from identity, always. Like the crisis that we have now, the pandemic, it actually, we call it a crisis. It actually made us think about a lot of things, not just about what we're doing in this world. I'm not going to be surprised if a lot of people have more quarter life crisis or midlife crisis during this time that we are actually in a worldwide crisis. But you know, crisis, that's what crisis makes you do. It makes you think. It makes you try to realize some things. And quarter life crisis, midlife crisis, it's all about identity. You've lost who you really are, or who you think you are. You've lost your purpose. It's simple as that. And you lose your purpose because you have been segued, you have been waylaid from what you should be doing. And how you find purpose is by going to the one who made you, right? I mean, I'm learning a lot of stuff now during the lockdown. Like one of my hobbies, and I did mention this earlier, is doing aquascaping. Namatay na yung ilaw nitong aquarium kasi naka-timer yan to turn off by 8 p.m. So, if you noticed, it just shut down by itself. This one is manual. I'm learning a lot, so I need to read how to use these stuff, the technology. And I get to know the purpose of the technology, like the buttons, the settings, when I read the manual. Or if I can't understand the manual, I have to contact the maker. Same is true with our life. For us to know our purpose, how we function well, how to use ourselves, our body, our time the best we can, is you go back to the maker and ask him, right? I'm a man of faith. I'm a born again Christian. If you're wondering where I attend CCF Alabang. Shout out Daniel Karandang, my D group mate. Kakasabi ko lang ng CCF, no? So, Dan, thanks for tuning in. Um, if you want to know your purpose, go back to the maker or read the manual. If you can't understand the manual, go back to the maker. Hey, I'm a person who believes that I did not originate from primates or monkeys because I look nothing like a monkey, to be honest. And if you think you do, well, I want you to know you did not originate from them anyway. So, yeah, I don't think I said that right. But yeah, I don't think that we originate from primates. I think that we're created. And sabi nga, 'di ba? Two things that are most important is to a person is the day you were born and the day you find out why. I think it was Mark Twain who coined that. And a lot of people have crisis because they don't find out why. You know what I think? I think the verse, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. That's from the book of Matthew in the Bible. I think that talks about purpose. That verse actually talks about purpose. It doesn't talk about riches or prosperity or material stuff. Again, the verse is Matthew 6:33. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. I think it talks about purpose. Why? Because when you seek first God's kingdom and who he is, his character, you find your purpose earlier. Honestly, you do. I found my purpose earlier. I'm actually quite surprised, and a lot of people actually are surprised when they find out that I'm just 32 years old. I started up a company when I was 22. I seem to look like a guy that has figured out a lot of things in life, if not everything in my life. No, I haven't figured out everything in my life, by the way, but I think I have figured out my purpose, and that is why I did not have that quarter life crisis. When you get closer to your maker and you read the manual every day to refresh your memory on how complex life is, how complex your body is, your relationships are, you need to read the manual. When you're able to do that every day, purpose becomes clear. A purpose becomes clear. Now, it is a discipline. So, in the sense that if you don't do that every day, things become foggy again. Things become blurry and hazy again. And you lose sight of your purpose. And when that happens, crisis will creep in. Crisis doesn't happen naman in one day na ganon lang eh. It doesn't happen in an instant. It creeps in little by little every day until you wake up with a host of different questions in your head that seems overwhelming. I don't know why, but my mic here just keeps turning off. So thank you for that heads up. Now you can hear me again for those who are listening on Facebook. That's why, if you could, maybe you could listen in on Discord so you could still hear me. So yeah, invest in your relationships. There's a saying in business, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And that's because connections, network, relationships, that's what really makes you successful. And not just in business, but also in family, also in your love life, you have to invest in your relationships. Relationships take time and takes communication. You have to have a two-way communication in order for a relationship to work. You have to have it in good frequency, and you have to be present and caring. That's how you nurture relationships. And lastly, financial. Okay, so again, since you did not say what are the most important financial investments, I just took your question and ran with it. How do you grow your financial investment? A lot of ways. Right now, I'm using a copy trading platform. I'm sure you're familiar with eToro. If you're not familiar with it, you can go ahead and check it out. Why do I use a copy trading platform? Because unlike Mr. Marvin Guermo, I'm not good with trading stocks and investing in stocks. So I'd rather have someone who does it full time for himself or herself and just copy whatever it is they're doing real time. That is the platform that I'm doing. I also have private investments in friends, um, sugar farm. I also have investments in life insurance for myself. Of course, I need my own protection because when I die, if it's abrupt, my family has to have something that they can live on with, etc. No, in financial investments, you have a whole slew of vehicles that you can invest in: stocks, forex, insurance, VULs, UITFs, bonds, you name it. And tomorrow, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., we're going to have Mr. Marvin Guermo here. So if you want to ask about financial investments, you go ahead and ask him tomorrow night because he's going to join me here on Discord. He's going to be my special guest, and we will have that recording. If you don't know who he is, he's the richest stock trader in the entire country. So it's really good to learn from him. Master Miko Peña, how does one learn the skill to sell? By the way, I have so many questions now, so I have to pick the questions. I'll try to give each one of you, I'll try to answer at least one question per person. I'm sure we're not going to be able to finish this one tonight, so babaunin natin to for tomorrow night. How does one learn the skill to sell? And where do we start our learning? There are many places to learn how to sell, but first thing you need to know is how you can build trust and likability in others. There's a very old but timeless book that I've read early on in my life, and that's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Geologs ng pangalan, di ba? By Dale Carnegie. Pero honestly, that book is the best book. And it's not even about selling. It's how to win friends and influence people. And that book was the only book that I've read when I started SEO Hacker and started selling. So I could actually attribute my entire selling skill when I was starting up the company to that book. If you could download that book in your Kindle, you have an ebook, or you can buy the hard copy. Do yourself a favor and do it. It's super duper easy to read. Matutuwa ka sa lahat ng examples na nandun. And that's the book that helped me to be able to deal with people and treat people well so that I can sell a lot easier. That's definitely the starting point for me. That's what I'm going to answer for that question. From Christine Bondok, what are the basics in SEO? Okay, digital marketing tayo. And how can we make ourselves stand out among all other online products in the market? Okay, so we have SEO and we have branding. So basics in SEO, there's a three-pillar approach that I follow. Iba-iba naman ang SEO specialist, so not all of us would say the same thing. My pillars would be copywriting or being good with words and dealing with the human psyche on what keywords they're going to be using. There's technical, which is the website, the site speed, the site security, etc. And then there's the marketing side to it where you get exposure, you get links, you get citations, and so on, the buzz you need to make. You have to be good in these three things. That's the basics. If you want to know where to start, you could check out Moz. They have a beginner's guide to SEO, which I think is really good. So you can check that out and study from there. But you have to be good in those three things. If you're not good in those three, I'm not good in those three things, to be honest. I can't code. That's something that I can't do. But I can write, and I love to write. So that's actually my starting point. I started blogging. That's how I learned SEO. Now, on to your second question. How can we make ourselves stand out among all other online products in the market? That's about branding. And branding is all about telling stories. It's all about telling stories. The same story. So you have to be consistent because the brand that's not consistent makes for a weak brand. I'll give you an example. Nike. Their slogan has been just do it for the longest time. I don't even know when that slogan came to being, but that has been their slogan for the longest time. I'm going to go ahead and compare them to Adidas. I'm an investor in Adidas as well through eToro, but I'm going to go ahead and compare them to Adidas. Adidas, they had a slogan that for me was fantastic, and that is impossible is nothing. I think 2 years after they changed it to something. And it's super strange that they did because I thought impossible is nothing was a really good slogan. Now, they're a lot less consistent in terms of their branding. And I would say Nike has a lot better branding and stands out better and stands out more compared to Adidas because of that. Now, also the stories that Nike tells about athletes and about the book Shoe Dog as well. Is a that is a big hit in New York Times bestseller, and they keep telling these stories, which is super good. And branding is all about stories. Follow up question from Christine. What was that? I couldn't find it anymore. I didn't name. Was it mods? No. I'm not sure what you mean there. So, yeah, how you stand out, tell your story, tell it consistently. It's all about branding. Of course, business-wise, you have to have your USP or your unique selling proposition. What separates your product or service from the rest of the market? So with SEO Hacker, we are a completely ethical white hat company that has always been our flag. We are known for being a white hat SEO company. We do things ethically, completely from start to finish. Even if we cut contract or the client cuts contract with us, their rankings go all the way for years because of the work that we do. Also, we rank number one or somewhere in the top three for the keyword SEO Philippines, which is, if you're going to look for an SEO company in the Philippines, a company ranking for SEO Philippines might be a really good company. So we have that kind of branding. That's our USP or unique selling proposition. A question from Isaac Sabas would be, are connections important? How important? Well, I answered a little about it a little bit kanina when I said it's not about what you know, but who you know. So yes, it is important. And actually you would know this because you actually exited your first company. So having these connections, I couldn't stress enough how important connections are. There are a lot of clients that I've closed that were referred to me by a connection. And when a client is referred, that's the easiest client to close and to deal with because you have a promoter already who might also be another client that you have, or a long time client or a long time friend, and this person is just promoting you to other people in their network. They're just saying you should try SEO Hacker. I've closed one recently, and it's a referral from Mr. Anton Laborte. Thank you, Anton, if you're listening to this. If you're here right now, God bless you, bro. We love you. And dami mo nang nirefer sa amin. So, super important, you will generate a lot of leads and revenue if you have a lot of good connections. Another question from Isaac: how to find great mentors? From your connections. No, so really, mentors would be people who you want to learn from because they're better at you in something. So one thing that I struggle with is waking up early. It's actually one of the things that I want to do in my life. It's actually a life goal to wake up at 5:30 or 6 a.m. every day, to be an early riser. It's just that I lack the discipline to do that. And a mentor is someone who can help you bridge the gap between point A, where you are, and point B, where you want to be. But a great mentor, would also be someone who's busy because they're great people. So if they don't see you actually practicing what they told you to do or the advice that they gave you, they will stop mentoring you. Ganun talaga eh. They're wasting time because you're not doing what they suggested, or they gave the advice that they gave you. You're just not following it. You're throwing it out the window. So if they see it's a waste of time, you lose a great mentor. How do you find them? Usually you either read a lot of books, listen to podcasts, ask around, or sometimes you find it through connections. You tell a friend you're struggling in this area, they connect you to a person who can help you out. Yun, Anton, thank you. Dito ka pala. So I hope I'm adding value to you guys as you're listening in here. We have a couple more questions from Rodora Mendoza. What preparation what preparation you do before? Okay. You attend seminar or you have a mentor. So how did I prepare myself to be CEO at 22? Did I attend seminars or do I have mentors? Hmm. I became CEO at 22 years old because of divine appointments. It really was not in my radar or in my roadmap to own a business. I looked at my life as I was graduating college, and I was looking to climb the corporate ladder and become an employee until I'm old. That's really my outlook. But God had other plans. I had 2,000 pesos left in my pocket. I prayed to God. I told him, I want to give this to you and start a blog with it and just write. I did, but no one read my stuff. I had no readers. I was writing and no readers. That's not sustainable. That's not good. So I asked Google, hey Google, how do I increase my traffic? And Google kept on telling me, you do that by doing SEO. So I searched around. This was 2009. What's SEO? How do I learn more about it? I kept on researching, experimenting, testing, and finally I came up with a working strategy on how to do SEO ethically. I used that to rank my blog. The blog's name was God in You, and it worked. It had a lot of traffic coming in. People were reading, commenting, sharing my stuff on social media. People I don't know from all over the world. I was I was honestly quite amazed with SEO. And then I realized maybe some companies need this. But the first client that I've had was not even a client that I looked for. They just came knocking and asked me if I can do SEO for them. So I would say that it's a series of divine appointments, really. It's not something that plinano ko na, by this age, I want to be CEO of my own company. I had nothing like that. It's I would say again, you find that time with your maker. Hey, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. One thing I know that I've been doing since I was 12 years old is I would read the Bible and pray every single day. Now, I'm not always a saint, I'm not always a good guy. I've done some nasty stuff in my lifetime. Even during those times that I would read and pray that day, I have. And I'm not proud of it. But I do believe that doing that discipline of reading the Bible and praying every day changed the entire direction of my life. So much so that God took me to this journey of starting up my own company. It's not because of my ambition, it's because God put me at the right place at the right time. And I can't say that, "Hindi, I'm just lucky." I'm just lucky 100 times. No one gets lucky that many times, right? I don't believe in luck as well. I believe everything happens for a reason and purpose. And so I say it's a series of divine appointments. Question from KB: how did you start growing or gaining your clients? Oh, by the way, Rodora, you asked how to become part of your team. If you want to be part of the SEO hacker team, you can search SEO hacker jobs in Google. You'll find our hiring page. Just send your resume there. All right. Oh, guys. How did you start growing or gaining clients? Well, we would have referrals because of connections, and we ranked for keywords that were really good for our industry. Keywords such as SEO Philippines, SEO Company Philippines, SEO Services Philippines. In fact, if you try searching for that now, using your browser, you might find our website, SEO Hacker, ranking there. A lot of our clients find us this way because we're ranking and it makes sense to them to hire a company that's actually ranking for their own keywords because you don't want to hire um, for example, a pest control company that has that they have an office full of pests. It's not a good testimony that you're good in controlling pests when your own building is full of pests, right? If you're a pest control company. So for me, it's that simple. We're an SEO company, so we must rank for keywords in our industry. And that's SEO Philippines, SEO Services Philippines, SEO Company Philippines. And so we went for that keyword. We're still ranking for those keywords. We still get a lot of clients from those keywords. There you have it. That's the answer. What supported you during this course? Did you have savings to support you? Actually, I was a really bad saver in terms of money during that time. So I really did not save a lot when I was starting my business. I told you I have my last 2,000 pesos. I bought the blog, well, not really bought, but rented it kind of like because you pay it every year. Um, and I started from there. I didn't have a lot of savings, but I'm also not high maintenance. I would eat skyflakes, literally just skyflakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I was super thin, super duper thin during that time. I say I was malnourished. I didn't know it then because skyflakes has no nutrition. It's just carbs. So I would eat that every day to save money because one pack of that thick of biscuits from Skyflakes was 18 pesos back then. I don't know how much it is now, but I clearly remember back then it was 18 pesos because that's gonna last me for lunch and dinner. That's what I would eat. So I was low maintenance. So even if I wasn't really making a lot, I would save every month. So I started saving when I had salary na. I didn't start saving when I was in college with my allowance, which is wrong because I could have started saving from my allowance. But I was hooked to Dota and I spent it all in the com shop, which is not good. Please don't do that. If you're listening in here and you're a student, don't waste your money in com shops. You waste money and time in life. So it's not a fair trade. Also from KB, what mindset did you had did you have when you were just starting? If you're asking me about, was I ambitious? Did I have a risk taking mindset? Not really. To be honest, again, it's a series of divine appointments how I got to start SEO hacker. I will never take credit for it because how I started up was really an impossibility. That if I rolled the dice, it would never come out to be what it is today. Where what I have, the people I have, the company, and the revenue it's making, I have never dreamed of having this. It has, I'm every day that I wake up is a blessing for me. And tying it back to how I am motivated every day is because every day is already a huge blessing for me. I've never expected to be married as well. I never expected to be married to a very, 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 very wonderful wife that is really the girl of my dreams. You can see the authenticity in my eyes when I say that. She's my first girlfriend also and the first girl that I courted. So she is the girl of my dreams. So every day is a gift for me. Every day is a gift for me. What's the song again? Good by I'm gonna recommend the song at this point. The title is Good by David Barnes, was it? No, I forgot. Let me just try to pull it up from my playlist. So I'm not sure how to use Spotify now because I only use it for podcasts and my own playlist. Oh man, I know that you're thinking I might be just wasting time, but this is super. This is a really good song. So the title is Good Good by Dave Barnes. Davebarnes. Good by Dave Barnes. That is a really good song, and that actually captures how I feel every day. It actually does. So please listen to it. It's available on Spotify. If you have Spotify, I hope you do because you need to follow our Leadership Stack podcast as well. Look for Good by Dave Barnes. Listen to it. That is how I feel every day. So I'm gonna go back a little bit because we have 6 minutes, and I have skipped some questions so that I get to answer at least one question from everyone. So I'm gonna rewind back to Patrick, Miguel. Tips on getting more traffic to your business. All right, foot traffic is out of the picture right now because of the pandemic. So I'm assuming you're asking me about website traffic. Getting more website traffic, you could run ads, or if you want qualified website traffic, meaning website traffic that matters to you, that's actually going to turn into sales and leads, definitely SEO. Because people who come from Google are searching when their search term or their keyword matches your website, Google will show you at the top 10, which is the first page of Google. And when they click on your website, they enter your site, they actually are gonna the likelihood of them buying from you is super high. So qualified traffic, definitely SEO. You have to do SEO. Or if you just want traffic, for traffic's sake, for just getting more people into your site, run ads. But if you ask me, that way you spend a lot, maybe you waste a lot. If you don't know how to run ads well, you also waste a lot of money. Another question from Bigo. One habit that you did consistently every day when you were just starting out. Definitely praying every day, reading God's word every day. If I'm gonna, that's really my top of mind answer because that's something that I really do every day when I was starting out. I wouldn't exercise every day, so that's not an answer. I also don't read a book every day during that time. So that's also not the answer. Yeah, definitely praying and reading God's word every day. That's something that I did daily. It's something I still do daily today. From Gel, for you, what are the best top three hard skills and top three soft skills any individual must have that they can apply in any kind of career? Well, if you say hard skills, then it's specific to that career, right? So, how can it be that the hard skills would apply to any kind of career? So, I'm just going to go ahead and answer the soft skills. Three soft skills. Number one, communication. You have to communicate well because misunderstandings are costly. It can cost you relationships, it can cost you clients, it can cost you revenue, it can cost you reputation. So, if you don't know how to communicate well, definitely develop that. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a book that actually deals with that. So again, I'm going to recommend that book. It's the second time that I recommended that book. Get it. Do yourself a favor, read it. Second soft skill would be listening. So communicating of course involves listening. So both of these go hand in hand. When you truly listen to people, it means that you actually do something about what they said. Because when people give you feedback and you show that you listen, sure, but you don't do anything about it, people will feel like you didn't really listen. So, listening and then translating it into something that they would know you really listen to them. And that is by acting upon it or by executing. Okay? But listening per se is actually a soft skill that not a lot of people have. Sadly, no? People want more to be heard. Just look at social media. There's a lot of people just throwing stuff on the wall and they're just seeing what sticks. Listening is kind of a lost skill in our day and age because we are able to broadcast so many things in so many platforms in a whim. So I think if you're able to genuinely listen to other people, that is very valuable and people would love to follow you more and people would love to talk with you more and spend more time with you. And that is important in any kind of career. And lastly, of course, leadership. Even if you're going to apply as a grassroots employee and you're not a manager, you can still lead. Who are you leading? Well, you're leading yourself. You're leading yourself to get up out of bed on the right time, take that bus or jeep or tricycle at the right time, and get to office on time. That's already leading yourself. Before you start leading people, you have to first lead yourself. If you cannot lead yourself, you will not be able to lead others. You can only give what you have. So, learning leadership is critical because if you can't lead, no one will follow you. If no one follows you, how can you start your own business? How can you start pretty much anything? Because you cannot go the world alone. You have to do it with people. I will not be able to take SEO Hacker to where it is now if not for the people in my team. My brother has been with me for 9 years. He's the guy who does the coding and the design. I have no idea how to do that. I needed him. Some people in my team write better than me. Some people edit better than me. Some people they would be able to edit videos, animations, stuff I have no idea how to do. Edit graphics, edit the podcast. Some people would be able to develop better relationships with clients, negotiate better. People, there are a lot of stuff that other people are better than you are. Or, at least in my team, I know that my team, they have a lot of skills that they're better at me on. And I need them. And if I can't lead, they will not follow. Would this podcast be posted after? Yes, it's going to be on the Leadership Stack podcast on Spotify and in the Leadership Stack YouTube channel. But it might get Yeah, so it turns off and it turns on. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this later. Shout out to Lynn. Lynn, your question is on Facebook. You should be on Discord, but sige, maybe that's the last question. This young CEO. Oh, thank you for your kind words. What advice you give to people my age to try something new, who want to try something new before their time is up? Wow, you're not that old, then. I don't know how young you are, but I'm assuming you're older than me. That's why you're asking me this question. What advice would you give to people my age who want to try something new before their time is up? Just do it. Just do it. As long as it's not going to risk your life, try something new. That's what makes life enjoyable and interesting. Try something new. I went into aquascaping just a month or a month and a half ago. Super exciting. I knew nothing about it. I am not an artsy type of guy, but I love working on it. And yeah, it's something that I also plan to do a little project on. In terms of e-commerce, maybe I'll do an e-commerce project on it. So it's never too late as long as you have life in you. I mean, I plan to write when I retire, or when I'm semi-retired, all the way until I die. I just plan to write books. That's really what I intend to do. So if you want to try something new, definitely just do it. Johan, thank you for being here, for tuning in tonight. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Miss Aurora, thank you for being here. Oh, you have a question again on Facebook. Next time, post it on Discord. So I'm just gonna grace it with an answer tonight quickly. How do you deal with a team leader who has no leadership skills? Demote him or her to a follower. So, having a team leader who can't lead is dangerous. I have first-hand experience. Demote that person, or you have to let that person go if they don't want to get demoted. And that's because a person who can't lead and is in a leadership position will cap the entire team. Tatakpan nila yung team. Your team will not be able to grow above that leader, because if the leader is leading at the level of 5 or 6, and you have followers under that person who is an 8 or 9, hindi na aangat yun, because this person will just be on top of that follower, and that follower will feel trapped, and then will leave. And sayang naman kasi yun yung 8 or 9, pero yung pinastay mo is yung 5 or 6. So do the hard decision, make the hard decision, and either remove that person from the leadership position because he or she has no leadership skills. Again, I'm just using your wording here, no leadership skills. So just remove that person from the leadership position, or if they're contrary to that, they don't like being removed, then you have to let them go. You have to part ways. Otherwise, you're chopping off the legs of that entire team that the person is leading, and that might be that might be a critical part of your organization. So you're kind of waylaying yourself there, which doesn't make sense. Shout out to Jerella. Thank you for tuning in, Je. I hope that this episode was helpful and valuable to you. Also for April Rose, thank you for being here tonight. All right, guys, that is a wrap. It is a Friday night. I don't want to take any more of your time. We've gone over time, 7 minutes. I just want to thank you guys and hope I can see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Discord, same link. We are gonna have Mr. Marvin Guermo. Madaming bolahan na naman to, no? Pero totoo, siya talaga yung pinakamayaman na stock trader sa buong Pilipinas, guys. So please be here 8 p.m. tomorrow night. I'll see you then. Talaga?